I'm gonna show you something a little bit embarrassing. This is me in my late teens, and this is me in my early 20s. At 23, I was working out constantly. I was cycling over 100 kilometers a week, and I was eating what I thought was healthy. So yes, from this to this, I lost weight, but I also lost my period. I lost muscle. My hormones were a mess, and honestly, I didn't look that good. And now here I am at 33. And I want to be really clear. I'm not working harder now than I was then. I'm not eating less. I'm not doing anything extreme. I actually exercise a lot less than I used to. And I genuinely look and feel a lot better than I did in my 20s. I'm gonna walk you through exactly what I changed. My training, my diet, my hormones, and a few other things I genuinely didn't see coming. So let's get into it. Here's something that nobody told me at 23. You definitely can exercise too much. And the consequences show up in your face and body in ways that have nothing to do with fitness. When I was cycling over 100 kilometers a week, my body was under chronic stress. Cortisol was elevated. My period disappeared. And when your hormones are out of whack, particularly when you lose your menstrual cycle, your body composition changes in ways that aren't flattering. You lose muscle in places that you want to keep it, and you hold on to fat in places that you don't. And I want to make this very clear. If you're a woman who has lost their period due to over-exercising or under-eating, this is your body sending you a serious signal. This is not a badge of honor. A regular menstrual cycle is one of the most important indicators of hormonal health. And when it goes, your skin, your hair, your body composition, your mood, all of it suffers. The fix for me was doing less, not more. I reduced my cardio volume significantly, and I've never looked back. The biggest physical change in how I looked physically came from lifting weights. Not occasionally, but consistently. And following a specific plan. Following it all the way through. Something I used to fall short in. Now, weightlifting is something I've sort of cycled in and out of over the years. As an athlete in high school, I did it consistently, but I never really followed a strict plan. I would just show up to the gym with my team and do what I was told. Then when I got really into cycling, definitely was not lifting any weights. But now this is the foundation of everything I do. Strength training does something that cardio cannot. It reshapes your body. It builds the muscle and creates shape and definition. It improves insulin sensitivity. It keeps your metabolism working the way it's supposed to as you get older. And I'm not in the gym for hours. I don't even work out every single day. 3 times a week, that is the max, that is the sweet spot for me. I prioritize progressive overload, meaning I'm always trying to gradually lift more. And recovery is something I really try to prioritize, especially since getting some recent blood work back. I ran a full blood panel a couple of months ago, and there were a couple signs in there that I wasn't recovering properly. So now this is something I really prioritize. Now this is probably the most important diet change that I made, and it might sound a bit counterintuitive. I stopped counting calories and I stopped restricting. In my early 20s, I was chronically underfeeding myself without even realizing it. High exercise volume, not enough food, and definitely not enough protein. Now I know in my late teens when I was overweight, I was probably insulin resistant. I never was officially tested, but there were signs. But even when I started doing all of this cardio, I might have still been insulin resistant then. That kind of chronic undereating and overtraining pattern can contribute to it. And my body composition reflected that. So what I do now is the opposite. I eat to support my training. I eat enough fat, I eat enough protein, and I use carbs strategically around exercise when my body can actually use them. And every single meal is built around protein first. I don't count a single calorie. I haven't for years. I just eat real food, prioritize protein, and my body does the rest. The goal isn't to eat less. It's to eat in a way that supports your hormones and your muscles, not work against them. Here's the thing about looking good. Most of it happens when you're asleep. Not when you're working out, not when you're eating well. The repair, the muscle building, the hormone regulation, all of it happens during sleep. And this is something I am pretty strict about. I protect my sleep. And especially since I got that blood work back and had those signs that I was overtraining, this is something I've prioritized even more. One of the things that's made the biggest difference in my sleep is learning how to properly switch off my nervous system. And something that has helped me to do that is the XenoWell Luna. It's a vagus nerve stimulation device. And stick with me here. If you don't know what vagus nerve stimulation is, your vagus nerve is essentially the main line of communication between your brain and your body. When it's functioning well, your nervous system can shift out of that stressed, wired state and into rest and recovery mode. And that's where healing happens. I use this for 20 minutes at night when I'm finding it hard to switch off. And it genuinely helps me to get there faster. It has a specific relaxation mode that works through HRV therapy. And there's also a relief mode if you deal with headaches. It's drug-free, it's clinically backed, and it's simple enough that I actually use it consistently, which is what actually matters. If you want to try the Luna from Xenowell, I'll put the link in the description below. Now back to recovery. The other piece here is protein timing. Making sure I'm getting enough protein, especially after training. That's when your muscles are the most receptive to it. And when you recover well, that's when you actually see the results of your training. You don't want to be putting in the work and not getting the results. So make sure you're recovering and you're sleeping well. Now I couldn't make this video and not touch on one very important piece of the puzzle, my jaw surgery. If you've been watching me for a while, then you might have noticed that my face actually has changed over the years. Well, I guess there was one really pivotal point in 2021. In my late 20s, I had corrective jaw surgery. It was functional. My jaw didn't close properly. I couldn't bite through certain foods. I was a mouth breather as a result. I did it for health reasons, not cosmetic ones. But it did change the structure and the shape of my face. Now, one thing I didn't expect was how easy it was to breathe through my nose afterwards. I didn't realize how much the shape of my jaw and how it was positioned was pinching my nostrils. When you can actually breathe through your nose properly, the way your body is designed to, it changes how you hold your face. And I think it has a real effect on how you look. Mouth breathing is one of those things that can age your face over time. So yeah, surgery is part of the story, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. Okay, now we're gonna be switching gears a little bit because yes, diet was very important for me, eating enough healthy fat, protein, etc., changing my exercise routine, not over-exercising. But this is something that more recently I have started paying attention to and I think has made a massive difference. And this is dressing for my body type and the colors that work for me. I discovered Kibbe body type a few years ago. The category I fall into is flamboyant natural. And learning what styles, proportions, and silhouettes actually work for my frame changed how I dressed completely. Now when I see something on someone else that I think I like, I question how that would look on my own body. There are certain designs and silhouettes that might look great on someone else, but they don't suit my body. So I give those things a miss. Another really helpful thing you can do is find celebrities who have the same body type as you. Look at what works on them and replicate that with things from your own wardrobe. Another piece of this is color analysis. And I am a soft autumn, which means I look best in warm, muted, earthy tones. Not bright white, not cool grays, not black. Okay, and when I first got these results, I was actually a little disappointed because I love a bright color. And what do you mean I don't look good in white and black? Now, of course, this isn't something that I follow to a T. But again, when I'm looking to buy something, I look at my color palette. I look at what looks best on me, and that kind of leads me in the right direction. So here's my honest summary on why I think I look better now than I did 10 years ago. The biggest piece is that my hormones are working properly. I have a regular menstrual cycle. I'm building and maintaining muscle. I'm eating enough protein. I'm recovering well. I've addressed some functional health issues. I've stopped fighting my body and started working with it. The biggest mistake I made in my early 20s was thinking that doing more cardio, more restriction was the path to looking and feeling good. And it was the opposite. You do not look your best when you're depleted. You look your best when your body actually has what it needs. Now, I mentioned the blood panel I had done earlier in this video, so if you want to check out that video next, I'll link it on the screen now. And if you want to check out the Luna by Xenowell, I'll put that link in the description box down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.